This is a continuation of my long story of the hell my life has been. My life has been hell for at least 10 years, since about 2013, which is longer than that. You know, I don't know if I can say it's still hell, but I still experience stuff that I would describe as hell. It's still ongoing, really, but it was a really concentrated hell for at least 10 years, like on an almost daily basis. So this this is a continuation of my telling the story of my British Transport Police brother, how he manipulated me out of acting as an executor with the help of his English sister-in-law and a really nasty, evil solicitor of the firm Geddy and Sons. Director, actually. Owner director. In this episode, my brother, British Transport Police brother, involves Essex Police because he lives in Essex. He lives in Chelmsford, Essex. He, in an unfounded and uncalled for way, he contacts his local police and gets one of them, PC Daniel Littlefield, to send me a harassment email, a harassment warning by email, not a formal form, not formal, but in just an informal email threatening me for harassment. So that's one policeman from Essex Police sending me a harassment email informally, not according to their form, on behalf of another British police. My so-called brother. This, I was already suffering a lot of stress. It was 2014. My mum died in 2013. Uh, uh, earlier that year, I had been invited to a meeting by this solicitor my brother recruited to meet him in an office, and I was abused in that office, and I was manipulated, and I had a fraud carried out on me. I was lied to, and then towards the end of that year, my brothers got this idiot police to send me a nasty harassment warning, a nasty harassment warning on very little basis, because I included him in emails that I sent to all us siblings. There were me and him and two other siblings, another brother and a sister. These were emails about, family affairs to do with my mum's house in Nigeria, a property, to do with because I knew quite a lot about that because I'd stayed there longer than the rest of them, to do with uh, affairs here as well, because my mum had property in Nigeria and here in London. Even though the emails I sent to everyone, he's used that to get this idiot Littlefield, Daniel Littlefield. I wonder what else is little about Littlefield. You know, little in more ways than one. So I'm gonna read the email now. Good evening. I am a police officer in Essex Police and have attended the above incident which was reported by your brother Stephen Ajayi. He is unhappy with the number of emails he is receiving from you and has previously asked you to stop contacting him. That's a lie. That is an absolute lie. He never ever asked me to stop contacting him. He couldn't because he manipulated himself into being the only executor, and I'm entitled to contact him for information and ask questions. This is causing your brother to feel this is causing your brother to feel harassed, and he wants the contact to stop. He is happy that he can find information out without needing you to involve him in your contact. And this is the threat. As of now, I am informing you that should you send emails to or CC your brother into further emails, whether they are to do with probate or otherwise, you may be spoken to by police with a view to being dealt with for harassment offences. If you have any questions, then please email me and I will try and answer them. I did try and ring first, but there was no reply. Regards, PC 70308, Littlefield. Absolutely appalling. I was really troubled and stressed. I was already stressed and anxious and angry on reading that. This was the first time I've ever received some sort of harassment warning from police, and since then I learned a lot about harassment warnings. I'm going to quickly and that email, I opened it at 10 o'clock at night, and as a result of opening it, I didn't sleep all night. I was writing replies to that email and finding, evidence, like in emails, to contradict the rubbish that was put in there. There's lies. There's lies in there. I'm gonna jump straight to my initial reply to this PC Daniel Littlefield of Essex Police. That's not it. Here it is. I sent this reply, then I sent emails of communication that this police brother sent me proving that if he didn't want me to contact him, why was he contacting me? He had contacted me earlier on that year, you know. So this is it. This is my reply to PC Daniel Littlefield of Essex Police, his harassment email, unsolicited, and he never asked me for my side at all. You greeted me with good evening. I didn't have a good evening after reading your email on Friday night, 26th of September. I was up till 5 a.m. writing a reply and then didn't sleep till after 7 a.m. First of all, I would like to inform you that my mother died from cancer in May last year. She was diagnosed a year before. She didn't tell us. She only told Stephen she had cancerous cells. Quote, in quotes. He didn't tell us. She didn't take treatment. He knew she wasn't taking treatment. He didn't tell us. Thank you for your deeply threatening and harassing email, which I take great offence at, and which you sent me based solely on the complainant's word, without hearing from me first. Your email has caused me a great deal of stress, when I have already been feeling stress being involved in the family situation. You said you tried to ring me. I have no evidence of a missed call on either of my two phones. I believe this is at least two police colluding to harass and threaten me, one of them being my so-called brother, in quotes. I totally reject his and your accusation that I am harassing, in quotes, him by including him in replies to emails I'm sending to other family members, and I am quite willing to engage the services of a lawyer to defend myself against those accusations, which are themselves harassing and manipulative, if necessary. I intend to pass on your email to my local newspapers and possibly national ones. I also intend to show it to a lawyer along with this reply. Also, could you please send me the name and phone number or email address of your manager, please, in case I need to contact him or her at a later date? I find it completely inappropriate that you have communicated such a threatening message to me by email. This is because I'm not a frequent email user. I don't have a computer, so I have to visit internet cafes to send or receive emails. That was then, that's not now. I don't often check emails. Even when I do, I'm very selective about the ones I open, as I have other emails that are a priority. Because of this, I could have easily ignored your email. I wish I had. I could have marked it as spam without even opening it. It was just lucky for you that I happened to open it and was shocked and sickened on reading it. Therefore, if I hadn't read your email, as I so easily could have not, I could have easily continued including my accuser in replies to emails sent by my sister in block capitals, as she asked me to, with exclamation mark. You then, according to your threatening email, would have taken action against me on my accuser's behalf without knowing that I hadn't even read your email. I read your email late on Friday, 26 September 2014. I then stayed up late writing this reply. I have then had to go to the internet cafe to write out the reply. To type the reply. I draw your attention to this part of his statement. In quotes, he is unhappy with the number of emails he is receiving from you and has previously asked you to stop contacting him, end quote. The complainant, your fellow officer, has never asked me to stop emailing him. Even if he did, he wouldn't have had the right to, because lawyers he recruited made him the sole executor of our mother's estate, pushing me to step down as an executor. And as such, I have the right, as a beneficiary, to contact him and ask him questions. This is from an email sent to me by Richard Roberts, the solicitor involved in my mum's UK probate. Quote, whether or not you are approving executor does not affect in any way your legal rights as a beneficiary to be consulted in the administration of the estate, to have your views and comments noted and acted upon, and to receive a proper account for the actions of the proving executor. It does not affect your right to have the estate properly and efficiently administered, end quote. I am forwarding an email dated 24th of April 2014 that Stephen sent to me to ask me a question. So if he asks me to stop contacting him, why is he then contacting me and expecting a reply? There are other examples of emails back and forth between us this year. That was then. Also, he removed some of my property from my mother's house. He also took a TV that I shopped for and bought my mother without even asking me if maybe I wanted it. When I emailed him about these things and others, he replied me by saying he had instantly deleted the email, refusing to read it. If he took my property, I have the right to ask him to return it or reimburse me. Would you tell a debt collections agency or a credit card company to stop sending letters? I will also send you a copy of the threatening emails he sent to me by the probate lawyers, who were supposed to be representing all of us on his behalf. I mean, they sent the threatening emails on his behalf when they were supposed to be representing all of us. And a copy of my reply. He used the lawyers against me. Now he's using you against me. These probate lawyers also phoned my uncle in Nigeria to tell him Stephen wanted him to step down as an executor, even though Stephen did not contact my uncle, out of courtesy to tell him this personally. As an executor, my uncle was supposed to be kept informed by him. He was not. I do not know why. Stephen also refused point blank to give my uncle his phone number. I'm not the only family member he has broken off contact with. He was angry with me because I complained about him to relatives, some of who phoned him. He later changed his phone number without telling us, also excluding many relatives. He only told me to stop sending texts, not emails. He said, if those are the kind of texts you're going to send, don't. In the same text, he told me to check your emails. He said my texts were rude, quotes, in quotes. He told me don't towards the end of these 3 rude and nasty texts he himself sent, during which he said offensive and shocking things which he has never explained or backed up. He then didn't want me to reply. After telling me don't, he then continued with the text for some time. If he wanted me to stop, why didn't he stop? Why send me 3 nasty texts in quick succession? And the texts I sent him weren't rude. They were a response to his questionable questionable behaviour towards me. I didn't sleep all night because of his free texts. I will send you copies of my text and the text he sent in reply. The reason I included him in my replies. Early August, I sent my accuser a long letter asking him about property he removed from our mother's house and complaining about the way he treated me and my uncle, also an executor of my mother's estate, with regards to the probate. I also complained about the way the probate law firm had treated me, acting under his instructions. I wrote to him because when I would complain to the firm about the way Stephen was behaving, they would tell me to speak to him, that it was a matter for him. The letter took me a long time to write. It was written over a period of months, yet when I sent it to him, I received back a reply saying, "This email has not and will not be read and has been instantly deleted." I sent him a second email detailing the offensive text he had sent me. I got the same reply. This means he considers himself unaccountable. Late August, I began receiving emails from our sister in Nigeria about my late mother's Nigerian estate. She sent these emails to all of us. Because of how Stephen had responded to my emails, deleting them, I left him out of 3 of my first 4 replies. Some of those replies I only sent to her. In one of her replies to me, she began with, quotes, "Thanks, Dayo," that's me, "can you please include everyone in your replies? It is important that everyone is carried along, as everyone has an equal vote." By everyone, she's obviously referring to him. So after that, I included everyone. The emails I sent to everyone, I also sent to him. Stephen could have asked me not to include him from the beginning, but he did not. So after initially not including him, I included him on my sister's request. When I included him, Stephen did not send any more replies saying my email had been deleted. Any replies he sent to our sister's emails, he excluded me from, even though she told me I should include everyone. If he didn't let me know he didn't want them, how would I exclude him from my responses? Stephen also received the email from our sister asking me to include everyone, but he didn't tell me or her he didn't want to be included. He has never once told me to stop sending emails, so I consider it quite nasty and appalling that he has contacted the police to get you to threaten me on a one-sided basis. You say this is causing him to feel harassed. Police don't seem too bothered about black men feeling harassed when they stop them time after time in such a disproportionate way. If Stephen doesn't want me to include him in my emails to my other siblings, then he should not seek or be given information from me by the others unless I ask for it or consent to it. So it's now more than halfway through. I have to keep reading fast. I haven't deliberately included the accuser. Contrary to your insinuations. Yahoo Mail gives you the choice of either reply or reply all. If you choose reply all, then you have to deliberately and manually exclude those you don't want to receive your reply. Why should I go out of my way to exclude him? I have not been sending him emails. I have been sending replies to everyone. If Stephen doesn't want to receive replies I send to everyone, then let him ask our sister, or I will ask her, to exclude him from emails she sends to me. Then any reply I send will not include him. She can then send him a separate email. He can then choose to include everyone he likes in his reply. Stephen put my mother's house on the market, which we had jointly inherited with our sister, and accepted an offer without consulting our uncle and me as co-executors. This is contrary to what the lawyers told us would happen. Stephen has been dealing with the probate without proper communication with us. He should never have been made the sole executor. I gave him a key to a room in my mum's house where her documents were kept. He then changed the lock and took away all the documents. I need access to those documents. I have the right to see them. You, Daniel Littlefield, say he wants the contact to stop. Stephen is playing a game of control. He has turned on me, taking sides with my sister against me without explanation. He enabled my sister to abuse me and hijack a phone call I made to him alone. He has mistreated, abused, and insulted me, then broken off contact without apology or explanation. Why didn't he break off contact before insulting me? Why did he send those 3 rude texts? He has refused to discuss, admit, or apologize for his behavior. Stephen needs to answer questions about what he has done with my things and why he has behaved in the way he has to me. He also needs to answer questions about my bank details. You said, quote, he is happy that he can find information out without needing you to involve him in your contact. What do you mean by this? This sounds quite personal and insulting from you. You said he doesn't want to talk to me. So why are you passing on his messages in such an insulting and unnecessary way? It suggests bias. I believe you have addressed me this way because he is also a police officer. While we were in Nigeria for our mother's burial, he used the fact that he is a policeman in London to subtly threaten me, which I think is appalling. From what you said above, I take it that he never bothered to read any of the information I provided, since he doesn't need any information from me, and that he deleted it, if possible, without discussing any of it with my other siblings or his godfather. Nearly finished. It is also appalling and sickening that government soldiers, British government soldiers from here, can go to other sovereign countries and murder both military personnel and civilians, which is obviously against the law in those countries and international law, and they don't get prosecuted. It is also appalling that so many black men have died unjustly at the hands of the British police with not even a trial, let alone a conviction. Yet you are threatening to charge me with, quotes, harassment offences for emails which I sent to all my siblings against someone who said nothing to me about not wanting to receive them. My other brother cheated my mother out of half her house before she died. About £300,000. Why didn't my accuser brother report him to the police? I would be happy for my police bully brother to take me to court, where I would be happy to air the dirty laundry. I'm not so sure he would be happy for me to do that though, as he likes to cover up. I have been wanting to complain about him for a long time. Now I will. And that's it. I don't really need to say any more because it's half an hour video. That's enough. Except to say that that was early on in my trauma. That was early on. I went on to suffer years of trauma, years of trauma, years of trauma, years of trauma. My life has been a living hell for at least 10 years. I've suffered assaults from all sorts of different police force. And I add that later on down the line, maybe a year from then or 2 years, this police brother has tried to get a different Essex policeman to have me actually prosecuted for harassment, actually prosecuted, and also completely unfounded. That will be a separate video. The next video on this matter will be how I made a complaint about this brother to the British Transport Police and how crappily I was treated by the British Transport Police, who refused to even record my complaint as a complaint.